Today in the Panorama Brand Studio, Whitney and I are chatting with meal prep queen, Cail Duval. Cail is from Louisiana, graduated from Arkansas in exercise science, and started her career teaching every type of group fitness class, which we love. Her passion for healthy living and good food then inspired her to create an Instagram community called Pump&Crunch, where she has become a self-made chef, boss babe, and has the most tasty SQRL Bars that you can eat. As the founder of Pump&Crunch, she now runs a successful meal prep business, event catering, meal planning, food recipe blog, and so much more that we're going to get into. This year, she is opening her very first storefront in North Houston Heights, which we're so excited to visit and host events in. She is the sweetest bubble of energy, and we are inspired by her incredible mission to make healthy eating simple, delicious, and accessible. Cail, thank you so much for joining us in the studio today for the Wellness for Hugh podcast. How are you feeling?
Oh my gosh, that was so nice. That was great. I feel awesome. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you guys for asking me to be a part of your special podcast.
Awesome. Well, we're so excited to have you in. I know I kind of like to kick off with how we all met, and truly you two met first. So do y'all want to talk about how you both met?
Yeah, so I used to be a member of Orange Theory Fitness. Specifically, I would go to the one in Sawyer Heights. And one of my favorite coaches was Coach Cail.
Coach Cail? I love that.
And she just all started. You always had such good energy. Your playlists were also top notch. And I just loved coming to your classes. It was so fun.
Thank you. That's sweet. Yeah, Orange Theory is a big part of my journey, my path, really teaching fitness. But yeah, that's how we met.
You were there for how long?
I taught Orange Theory for 6 years, but I was at that Sawyer Heights location for 2 to 3 years. Okay. So a while.
Yeah. And you were head coach?
Head coach, managed that location. But yeah, coached OTF back in Lafayette and then Louisiana, which is where I'm from, and then moved here and just jumped into that. But yeah, that's where we met.
Yeah.
All the fitness community, we're all tied together, and we met in the fitness community.
Somehow, Whitney introduced me, or other friends introduced me to you, and they're like, you have to meet Cail, and I'm sure Whitney was like, you need to meet Alexis.
And like, you, I think one day after class, you were like, do you know Alexis?
Yeah.
And I'm like, actually, yeah, that's one of my best friends.
Yeah. So how did you guys meet?
We met teaching yoga together.
That's
at another
right.
studio.
I knew that. Fitness fam.
All connected.
It's actually smaller than you realize sometimes.
Yeah.
Like you run into instructors everywhere.
It's big but small.
Big but small.
Big but small. We all support each other. Yeah. I love it.
So Cail, you're from Louisiana, which you just touched on. And growing up, what inspired you to go to school for exercise science? Were you always into all of that, or what was your dream?
That is such a great question. I was actually thinking about this before sitting down. My dad is a surgeon. He's an orthopedic surgeon. My family, everybody's in medical. And so I grew up, went through high school and everything. I'm like, okay, what do I want my major to be? I don't really want to be a nurse or a doctor, but what's something that's still kind of in the realm, medical umbrella that I can do to follow my family's path. And I thought, physical therapy, that sounds so fun. Started working in that profession. And then, when it was time to go to college, exercise science was just the major that they assigned to me, which is so funny that I actually did not go to physical therapy school. I decided after I even applied to schools that I did not want to do that. And we learned about personal training and, the body and everything in college. And I fell in love with, I enjoyed working in physical therapy, but I wanted to work with the patients after they graduated from physical therapy. Then they come to me and we're training, we're rehabbed already. So now we're just working out at the gym and we're doing that. So that's kind of the story of that, which I'm so glad exercise science was my major that was just assigned to me. And I think it happened for a reason.
Definitely.
So yeah, that's the story of that.
And you started training people out of college? Did you ever do personal training?
I did. It was part of a course that we had to do. Like we had to personal train people. And I think in college we just had they had clients to sign up for that program. And that's when I first started personal training. But I have always been into fitness. I was that kid in 6th grade who would go run 5 miles after school and didn't eat chocolate. And I'm like, oh, I love, broccoli's my favorite food. I was like,
y'all would have been friends.
Oh my God, that was me
we
as a
might
kid.
have found each other maybe.
Oh, everybody's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. I'm good. But oh my gosh, even my friends, like I used to do that insanity workout with Sean
Same,
T.
yes.
Oh, love Sean T. But my friends would always ask me in college and high school, like, hey, can you train me? Like, let's work out together. And really it started long before college. It was in high school. But just my passion for health and exercise and good food, just it all combined.
Morphed
and
together, yeah.
everything happens for a reason. So it laid out.
So how did you get from Louisiana, Arkansas, and then you came to Houston? How did that happen?
I have totally followed my boyfriends wherever they are. Yeah.
We're all guilty of it.
Yeah, but I'm the type of person that, like, if an opportunity presents itself, like, my boyfriend in college, he was going to University of Arkansas. He's like, do you want to come? I was like, yeah. Sure, let's go. Went to school up there. We ended up, not working out after we graduated from college. Who cares? Had a great time. Come back to Lafayette. Started dating another guy who's actually from Lafayette, lived in Houston. I'd visit him in Houston, and I was like, dang, I love Houston.
Really?
He's like, you want to move? I was like, yep. Let's go.
Didn't have
Let's
to
do
think
it.
twice.
Yeah, but I we'll touch back on this, but I started my kind of health brand back in Lafayette. And while Lafayette is home, I just felt like I was kind of held back from my full potential. And Houston's just a bigger market and bigger place, more people. And so, yeah, I followed a guy. We ended up not working out, but I'm still here.
And that's how you got into all the studios and teaching over here.
Yeah.
Where else have you taught? So you did Orange Theory. Can you shout some out?
So, okay, started in 1 million
You may know Cail
places.
from.
Okay, the Daily Method Bar Studio is where I first started.
Okay.
Then I popped into Orange Theory, then Cycle Bar. I taught for Orange Theory for 6 years, Cycle Bar for like 4 years. But it was cool because in Lafayette, I was at OTF and Cycle Bar, which they had here. So I just moved cities and popped into both of those locations.
Nice.
Spin is just my love. I love teaching indoor cycling. So after I left Cycle Bar, I went to Ride, RIDE, the orange.
Aggie owned. Whoop.
Yeah, the Ride Studio here, which is
everywhere.
a blast, indoor cycling. And now I am at One Sweat or Sweat, which used to be Sweat 1000. It is the best. Hyping up Sweat today. It is such a fun workout. I'm obsessed, so that's where I'm currently.
Currently obsessed, currently
Yeah.
a fave. Okay.
Currently.
And your
Okay.
energy is, if you have not taken a class with Cail, you need to go because her energy is.
I think we should go to a sweat class.
Please
I
do.
know. Yeah.
We only go randomly to sweat because we also like berries. They're
Yeah.
kind of rivals,
Yeah.
But we need to come back. We'll meet you in the blue room.
Meet me in the blue room.
I can't promise I'm
So
going to make
fun.
it to a cycling because that's like the one workout. I'll try it, but my legs don't do that. So.
I feel that. I just started, I'm not teaching spin anymore, but I ride at now RYDE. Oh my gosh, I love that spin
Oh, maybe
studio.
that's the Aggie owned one.
I don't know.
There's so many Aggies. It's hard
I
to
don't
keep
know
up
the
with
Y's
y'all.
and the I's and the.
I know. Because
there's
like,
the
I
brand
work at
new-
Ride with an I or a Y. Like,
Yeah. Oh, it's so much pressure.
I ride at Ride, I or Y with a Y.
Yeah, it's really confusing in the Houston
I
community.
know.
Which one?
The green one or the
Blue
orange
one.
or the blue one?
I call it blue
Yeah.
because there's a new ride opening in the Heights.
Oh, it's amazing.
I'm
It's
excited.
the nicest fitness studio I've ever been in my life. It's
Oh.
so gorgeous.
Intriguing.
Definitely try it out.
Have to. So, but Orange Theory,
Yes.
I remember when I was there, somebody was talking about your meals. That's the first I heard about it. And I think I was talking to you about that, and you're like, oh, yeah, the SQRL Bars. So that's how I first heard about it. But like, talk to us about how that all started and kind of
Okay.
your journey there.
So let's start from the beginning. Back in Lafayette, Louisiana, just graduated from college, was still planning on going to physical therapy school, but you got to make some money. So I started teaching group fitness. That is where I kind of developed myself as a brand. You're an instructor, people are looking up to you. And so with being a fitness instructor, healthy food and inspiration and motivation comes with that. I've always loved food. I was also the kid who would get home from school and watch the Food Network all afternoon. And I remember my mom telling me, oh, you watch all these shows. When are you going to actually cook something? And I remember her saying that. So when I was
Aw.
teaching group fitness, I started posting pictures of my lunch and dinner just on my personal page. And eventually I was like, these photos are probably annoying the people who are following me. So let's create a whole nother Instagram page, which ended up being called Pump&Crunch, pump for fitness, crunch for food.
Love that. Seriously, love that.
Isn't it
So
cute?
catchy.
So cute.
It's so cute. Yeah. A friend of mine who actually was working with at one of the studios came up with it. I didn't even come up with it. I had like a million different names. She's like, what about Pump&Crunch? I was like, oh my God, girl. Sure. I love that. So I just eventually was posting, you know, workouts and meals, which evolved and evolved and evolved to one day. And this is, I remember the person who did, she's like, hey, I see you cooking all this healthy food for yourself. I do not have time. Will you cook for me?
Aw,
I'm like, sure. Perfect. Her name is Jane, my girl Jane Guidry.
catalyst.
Shout out to Jane.
Shout out to Jane. And I was like, sure, yeah, I'll definitely do that. And then I would post it on my Instagram. A second client, her name is Amy. Hey, I see you're cooking for somebody else. Can you cook for me too? Sure. So it literally started from just me sharing my lifestyle, which eventually evolved into cooking, and just started from my house cooking.
That's
you know,
crazy. I think like what you're called to do, like find you.
it does find
Like
you.
you weren't
Definitely.
really like trying that hard. You were just sharing and were passionate about it. And it just had a ripple effect.
It just snowballed.
Yeah, it's
Same
crazy.
with squirrel bars.
Yeah, I was wondering which one came first, the Pump&Crunch or the squirrel bar. So you kind of created the platform for Pump&Crunch and then came the squirrel bars? Because
Yes.
I loved, like I used to make homemade bars all the time. So I'm really curious like how you started that.
So with those, funny story also, I don't really prefer a lot of the bars that I buy from grocery stores. I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of them. And the ingredients are funky and it's just, I don't know. So one day I was like, oh, I'll make my own. And I mean, the first round of that recipe, it wasn't, I mean, it was okay, but the recipe definitely evolved. But same thing, I posted on my page. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just made all of these bars. Does anybody want any? And of course, people would message me like, yeah, I'll bring them to your Orange Theory class tomorrow. And somebody was like, I'll pay you for those. And I was like, really? Because I wasn't going to sell them.
That's crazy. You were just going to give them away.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, I just talk to my clients. Like,
Yeah,
come take my
yeah.
class and everybody will get a protein bar.
True.
And
Yeah. Marketing.
And somebody was like, I'll buy this from you, $3 a bar. And it hasn't changed.
Wow.
It's still
$3 a bar.
Still going. Yeah.
How'd you come up with the name Squirrel?
Squirrels are just my thing. Like, since I was a kid, I would call, like, my friends, be like, hey, squirrel, what's up? Like, instead of girl, hey, squirrel, hey, squirrel.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my friends
It's so
would,
you.
yeah, my friends would just start calling me squirrel. And so then everyone associated me with a squirrel. So they were originally called Pump&Crunch protein bars. But my friend and I, one day, she was like, why don't you call them squirrel bars? I'm like, genius idea. Okay, cool. And we spell it SQRL just because it's shortened. And I have a tattoo of one right here.
Aww.
Yeah, squirrels are a thing and it's so fun. I just feel like it's just a good energy name. And
it
here's
is.
Squirrel Bar. People are like, oh, that's cute.
It's like kind of your spunky energy.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
cute
Spunky is a good word.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
So
just blossomed.
Yeah. So I can see like in your kitchen, you were using a food processor, I'm assuming, to make these bars?
Yes. Okay. So they're made of oats,
Okay.
flax, almond butter, honey, protein,
Cinnamon.
cinnamon.
And some of them, because I like
yeah,
that.
so that's the original. And we just blend the oats, and the texture is key. It took a
Right.
couple rounds of creating or like modifying the recipe to get the good texture. But it's just the almond butter, honey, protein, flax, and blended oats.
Keep it, and it sticks together really well.
Sticks together really
I'm
well.
so impressed.
It's like a cookie dough consistency, but I put them in clear bags because, can I see one of them?
Yeah.
I put them in clear bags because my brand, it's like we're transparent on what's in them. And so that's what I really like. So, I mean, this is just where we're at as of now. But they're really cute. People love them. I actually tried to stop making them 3 different times because they're just time consuming to make. I have staff who does it for me now.
Queens.
But yeah, and people were like, no, you cannot stop making
I
these.
might have had a
can't
meltdown
live
if you
without
stopped.
them.
Yeah.
They're pretty yummy, but if you can see, they're like mushy, gooey, delicious texture. They hold for a couple weeks. They're just the bomb.
Well, that's what I'm so impressed that they hold for a couple of weeks, because when I was vegetarian in college, I would use my food processor to make balls or bars, whatever shape you want, square, circle. But I would use a nut base. So I would grind up cashews and maybe use, again, some almond butter and then all those other things, right? Throw in the protein powder if you want. But the nuts, to me, don't stick together quite as long as like the oats, because oats are a little stickier. I don't know how to describe that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you messed around with nuts at first at all, or not
I
really.
went straight to almond butter.
And oats.
And oats. And at first I didn't blend the oats. They were chunky.
Okay.
And I was like, these are getting stuck in my teeth. Like, what can we do? And so I just did some research, like, could you do a flour instead? Saw oat flour. I'm like, oat flour. We're already using oats, so let's just blend it.
Okay, yeah. I know,
cool.
I don't think I ever tried oats. I think when I was little, I had oatmeal one time and it made me sick.
Yeah.
I was sick from something else. It
Yeah.
wasn't really related.
Yeah.
But when you get sick around a certain food,
100%.
you won't eat it again.
Yeah.
Now I'll eat oats again, but it took me a solid 10 years.
Yeah.
And so I'm obsessed with the bars. I'm like, okay,
Yay.
now I have to I'm going to keep ordering yours, but I'm going to mess around in the kitchen some more with some experimentation of my
And you can find
balls.
your bars in a lot of places around town, and not just around town, but all over the place.
So we have a website. You can go to pumpandcrunch.com. And on pumpandcrunch.com, there's a million different things. We've got recipes, ebooks. You can purchase our healthy meals. And you can get access to the squirrel bars. So you can purchase them. You can come pick them up from us. You can get them shipped. We ship them all over the country. They're sold at Nourish Juice Bar in Houston. We used to sell at a couple different locations, but we're just down to the Nourish. But once we open our store, which we'll talk about in a minute, then we plan to do outreach all over the city and get them into as many stores as we can. Our big goal for 2024 is to have them in HEB, which will be super cool. Yeah.
Will they let you have clear plastic wrap in HEB?
We
curious.
rebranded the packaging a couple months ago, and
Okay.
I asked my people who did it, I'm like, is there any way we can do clear packaging? And they were like, no.
I think the closest thing I've seen to clear is maybe the Perfect Bars. They have half clear, half opaque.
Looked at those.
Inspo there.
But our the world will see the branding one day. But it's so freaking cute, and it's got a little image of what the flavor is. So you're still able to see peanut butter, it's gonna have a chocolate chip on it, and the red velvet, it's gonna have the white swirl on it, and it's pink. But
I'm ready to try the pumpkin. I'm
It's the
excited.
best.
Pumpkin season,
Everybody
yes.
loves them. So good.
So before we jump into meals, I'll just go ahead and share, if you're on the website right now looking for these bars, because we've been talking about them and making you hungry, if you're on her website, you can use code WELL4HOU, so WELL4HOU, for 15% off the entire site, but also the squirrel bars. Highly recommend ordering those to wherever you are in the States. And let's shift over to meals so we can inspire people to get those too.
Yay.
So tell us how kind of the meal prep came about. And my questions that we were getting on Instagram for you about it was, do you create them based on macros, calories? Do you make them for different diet types? Kind of what was the vision there?
Great question. So once we have our store open, we are going to be marketing to so many different diet types. But for now, my main philosophy and how I design the food that we make is that healthy eating should taste good and should not be boring. I've heard so many times from clients and people on Instagram and friends that are like, I can't stand eating healthy. It's just so boring. I cannot eat the same thing over and over. And so growing up in Louisiana, I learned how to cook, comfort food style food. Comfort food style.
Yeah, sounds good.
And so I design my menu every week. We do 5 different things, and I change the menu every single week. It's all completely healthy. I go off of my personal eating mindset of you're going to have a protein, you're going to have lots of veggies, and then a starch. That starch may be rice, maybe quinoa, potato. But I keep it simple, but adding a ton of fresh ingredients into it. The calories are all they end up being between 350 and 550. We keep our protein, around 30 to 40 per portion. The fat is always under 20. It just kind of works out that way. That's how I personally eat. A protein, veggie, and a carb, but not boring. That's what
Balance.
I pride myself. Yeah, that's what I pride myself on. And I'm super picky about what I write my menus on because I don't want to eat boring food with no flavor.
Yeah.
My food I think it has a lot of flavor. I put toppings on it, fresh herbs, seeds, healthy sauces.
Pesto, which I love. Yeah.
We're fully gluten-free in my kitchen. I don't use gluten in anything. I don't think you need gluten in anything.
And like when we say meals too, like we mean breakfast, lunch, and dinner because I also love your breakfast oats. And are those gluten-free
they
oats
are.
too?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
So we do lots of different things. But as far as the meals go, kind of the story behind it is, as I was saying earlier, just having people ask for it and I do it. That's the mindset that's how I've built my business is
Give the people what they want.
give the people what they want. And if somebody asks for something,
I love that.
yes, the answer is yes, and I will figure it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Making it happen.
That's my biggest piece of advice for anybody who's starting anything is people ask all the time. So when did you have this goal to start a meal prep business? And I was like, I didn't. It's not the answer people want to hear, but it's just the people wanted it. I enjoyed to do it. And I said yes. Every time some new opportunity would cross my path, I'm like, sure. Oh, you should open a store. All right, let's do it.
Well, and I
Why
feel
not?
like, yeah, and
Why
I feel like
not?
innately, like you want to help people because
Yeah.
that kind of goes back to like the physical therapy. I think you have that, and a lot of people we talk to, obviously, that are service providers or offer or have a business in this realm of wellness, or because they want to help people.
100%.
The passion.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, I know you talked about like being used to cooking with flavor, but Louisiana, the Cajun style. Do you bring any of that into your cooking now?
I do.
Yes.
We'll throw a little Cajun recipe in there every once in a while. It's soup season. It's actually next week is we do a soup season every fall and winter. I just am such a big soup girl. So it starts next week and I'm going to do a gumbo probably the week after that. We do chicken and sausage jambalaya.
Do you ship to Dallas?
I wish. I wish. I actually, large goal. I would love to have multiple locations of my store. And I actually had somebody on Instagram the other day reach out, say, hey, I've been following you for a while. Love what you do. If you ever want to expand to Dallas, I'll run your business for you. Like,
Yeah,
all right.
because
Did you say yes?
yes,
The answer is
yes, the answer is yes.
Give me a few months, maybe a year or two. But
Let me open this one first.
yeah, sounds good. Let's do it.
I only ask because my dad's from Louisiana, so
Yeah.
he loves all that,
Yeah.
and he's in Dallas. So I'm like, if y'all open a store, I know he would go.
Yeah. I would be cool. My brother's in Dallas. He said the same thing. He's like, hey, if you ever want to expand, I'll help you run it. I'm
Yeah,
like, okay.
Covered.
family
Cover,
business.
let's do it. Yeah.
I'm sure my parents will let me come back and run it. They'd be so excited.
Yeah, for sure.
So with the business and with the storefront opening soon, what services are you hoping to offer in addition to the meal prep service?
Love that. So in addition to meal prep, currently these are some things that we do now. We cater parties. We are going to be hosting events at the space because my store is just so cute. It's so adorable and it's big. The back of it, it's two parts. It's like a shotgun rectangular space. The front is a giant room, and we have our logo graffitied on the wall. There's squirrels everywhere. It's just, of course, on brand. Yeah, it's just so cute. And I actually hosted a party in it the other day.
Wow.
Just some girls needed a space, and we did a little like cooking class. We did like a sushi making class in there. So we'll do some cooking classes. We want to do lots of pop-ups, hosting groups like you guys. I am big on community, and as I know you guys are too.
Yeah, that's why we love you.
Yeah, and I'm not just going to be another meal prep store. It's like The seating in there is going to be where you come in, you have to sit next to someone. You have to talk to someone. And it's just going to be a very inclusive, not just, obviously I know you'll just come in, grab your stuff and leave, but it's going to be a space of just positivity, and my staff empowers that. And I feel like our food just has love sprinkled into it. And I'm just very excited, and more opportunities will present themselves as well. Like, hey, you should do this. Done. You'll see it soon.
I'm already thinking about all the collabs we can do.
I know, I was
So many
literally like, can we do a holiday baking cooking class? Because I've been wanting to do that, and I feel like what you're just saying, we're like manifesting that.
Let's go.
Is
It's
perfect.
happening.
So, I know.
I know. I also want to do, I forgot to mention this. So there's this place back in Lafayette where I'm from. It's called Sandra's Health Food Store.
Ooh.
And it is adorable. It's like a little old house, but it's a grocery store. You can get all your vitamins, produce, whatever. But on the other side, it's a little cafe, and you can do healthy plate lunches. They serve lunch from 11 to 2 every day. And it's something totally different, but it's like home cooked, just that good food. And I struggle to find a plate of food in Houston that, I can take to go that's not going to cost me $20, that's going to be nutritious, that's just like a good hearty meal, because I'm busy. I know you guys are too. And so eventually I would love to do, or I will do, like pop-up plate lunches.
I love
5 days a week. It'll be something totally different. You come in, I want this protein, this side, done. Take it to go, or you can sit and eat.
I love that.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
Yeah, I feel like, I love the cafe style. And also, like, another reason we have worked with you before is you did catering.
Yeah.
So you said you cater for events sometimes. So you catered one of our nutrition workshops, which was really awesome, that we did for the Houston Gals Wellness Program. I know you've catered a lot of birthdays and other things, and you're also maybe getting in. You kind of said it like you started that way, but maybe into some meal planning for people. Aren't you launching something right now?
Yes. Oh my gosh, so many things. I'm like, what am I forgetting? I'm forgetting like 3 other things. Okay, I'm also a private chef. So I used to do in-home stuff, but I don't have time for that anymore. But I have a couple clients with specific dietary needs, and they just don't have time to do it, or they need help figuring out what to eat. So they'll send me their macros. I write up a menu specific to that client. I'll cook it for them and get it delivered to them. So that's also something else I do, which eventually I'm excited to kind of outsource. My goal is to find a group of chefs in the city to where I'll be the curator. I send them what they need to make. They add their own personal flair to the meal, but it's still meeting all the macros. So I'll be able to help, give business to chefs who need.
Yes, that would be so exciting. If you're a chef,
That was really
Come
cool.
meet Cail.
I love that.
I know. That was actually my boyfriend's idea the other day. He's like, you should hand that off. Like, you do so much. Because I do. I pack my schedule.
You have a lot on your plate.
He was like, why don't you think about handing that off? Like,
I also love that Cail sounds like Cail the veggie.
I know.
Like, we totally skirted past that, but it's like, so you.
It works.
Like, your parents knew what they were doing. Like,
everything is just falling into
Aligned.
place. I know.
So you are clearly doing a lot. You have a lot on your plate. You're a lot of goals. So talk to us a little bit about like what has been the most challenging about running the business, about all of these goals coming to fruition.
That's a great question. I would say, and I'm the type of person, again, if it comes across my plate, I'm going to say yes and I'm going to do it, just because I'm that type of person. I'm like a person of action. I'm going to do what I say and whatnot. So I would say one of my biggest challenges is learning to balance like the amount of work I take on and the amount of time I put aside for myself. Because I will load my plate, and everything I do for work, I love it. I'm literally watching American Horror Story while I'm prepping for a catering event, having the best day ever. I'm like, this is awesome. But then I forget, like, oh my gosh, when is the last time I have done something for myself? So being able to time block not only work, but personal time. That's definitely something I've struggled with over the last couple years. And I'm working on that. But sometimes you need somebody close to you to walk up to you and be like, excuse me. Can you sit, please? Yes. So that has been a struggle. And really, that's it. I love what I do. And Aww. It's so fun. And I get to be around people, like-minded people in the community who work with me. I get to do cool stuff like this.
So assuming you've overloaded your plate before, have you pulled some all-nighters, like prepping or like anything crazy like that?
Not an all-nighter, but I've been at a point where I'm like, this catering package will take me X amount of hours. And I am busting my freaking behind to finish it. And just that stress of like, oh my God, this has to be done and delivered at this exact time.
Yeah.
But I've never been late.
You've never been late
for anything.
That's incredible.
Yeah. We've had to push our meal prep pickup time back like 30 minutes, like 3 different times. But yeah.
It's pretty small.
I know.
That's incredible. Seriously.
Yeah.
Like pat yourself on the back.
Thanks,
like
girl.
I'm just saying, like I figured you'd had some more hiccups than that.
Not really.
So that tells me you are, I can see where you're maybe struggling to prioritize you. Mm-hmm. So what is since we are Wellness Houston, what does your wellness routine currently look like? Because I know we like some of the same supplements.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to take care of yourself to make sure you have that energy? Just walk us through your like wellness routine for the day.
Perfect. I used to teach fitness very, very early in the morning, like 5 days a week at 5 o'clock in the morning. You remember?
Yes.
Yeah, when you would be there, I'd be asleep.
Maybe not the 5 a.m., but
it was a lot. And getting enough sleep really took a toll on me at that phase of my life. So I learned that sleep is just a non-negotiable. I personally require 7 to 8 hours a night.
Yep, I love sleep.
If I need to get up at 6 a.m., I make sure I am asleep no later than 10 or 11 p.m. Mm-hmm. So sleep is huge for me. In the morning, I make sure to chug water. I love coffee. I could never give up coffee, so I do a coffee. Oh, girl, I know. I'm just going through the day. Another thing I'm big on just is the food I keep in my house. I'll go out and have drinks and eat French fries and live my best life. Mm-hmm. But what I keep in my home is very clean for the most part. I do, all grass-fed, organic, pasture-raised, all of that. And I just think it's so important.
Quality.
Yeah. I exercise daily, or I try to. If I'm not able to get to the gym, I got to take a walk around the block. It's just good for my soul. I love exercise. I could never not. It's just for the mentality aspect, And then some supplements I currently take. I just started taking colostrum. Have you guys been hearing the hype about it?
Yeah, the milk.
Yeah, it's great for gut health, immune health. And so I do element electrolytes as well. Mm-hmm. I try to drink 1 to 2 packets of electrolytes every single day. And then I do my colostrum in the evening. I love Symbiotica.
Yes, that's the one I was like hoping
I love Symbiotica.
Probably one of every one of their products.
I need to re-up, but I do their Shilajit every night. Mm-hmm. I make a tea out of it. I do Shilajit. I do honey, organic lemon, ginger. What else do I do in there? It's so good. Apple cider vinegar. Mm-hmm. It's just
sounds like it could be made at the storefront.
Yeah.
I want to do juice. I want to do tea. I want to do all kind of stuff. You guys just wait. Anything you need,
I'm ready.
Is going to be at Pump&Crunch headquarters. That's what it's called.
I'm ready. Let's go.
We'll make a list of our requests so we can get all our yeses in.
Yes.
I have a burning question. You've been talking about wellness. Does someone cook for you sometimes? Like, do you?
Oh my gosh, no. There are a couple places I like to pick up food from, but I just like to cook for myself too. I eat my own meal prep.
Yeah.
Any extras we have, I eat my own meal prep, and it's delicious.
I would too. It's delicious.
Yeah, it's great.
Of course.
But I have to cook for myself because aside from the meal prep business and SQRL Bars, I have my Instagram page and my recipe blog that I run, and I got to create content for that too. So I try my best to get like 1 to 2 new recipes out a week. And I'm just cooking for myself. So usually I'm doing my own meal prep. I do, just a couple recipes a week, and that just lasts me.
That opened up like a whole new box of questions that just popped into my head. What are the most popular meals or like your favorite meals?
Honey ginger pineapple turkey bowl.
Interesting. Okay. I don't know
The
if I know
people who
that.
know, they know.
Okay.
TikTok salmon bowls. We call them
I think
the
that's the
TikTok
one
salmon bowl.
Is that the one I like? Yeah.
Yeah, that girl, Emily, whatever.
I don't have a TikTok, but I know the
my
salmon
gosh.
is good. That's what I was going to say.
I love her Instagram page. I don't get on TikTok that much, but she just makes super easy stuff. And I don't know. She takes salmon, she'll cook it and she'll mash it up. It's so simple. Put it over rice and then you serve it with some like spicy mayo and like I do cucumber slices. The people go nuts for it. It's so good.
Wow.
But it's just fish, rice. So you like scoop your cucumber in there. We put a homemade gluten-free spicy mayo over the top. Really, really good.
Love that.
And people love the comfort food options. Like I do a healthy, like high protein cottage cheese lasagna, all gluten free and not dairy free. You gotta have cheese in lasagna. Come on.
Yeah. The Italian in me supports that.
Is it really lasagna without cheese?
I don't know. Not at all. I do a shepherd's pie. We do my famous recipe. I'll call it famous because everybody makes it at home too. Green chicken enchiladas, all gluten free.
What's the most popular breakfast?
My Pump&Crunch breakfast hash, it's called. I've been making it
Yeah.
for myself for like 10 years. It's so good. I do organic chicken sausage, sweet potatoes, scrambled eggs, and red onion. And then you do
Yum.
Cajun seasoning in it. It's so yummy.
There's that flair.
There's that one in the opal. I like
that
are a
in a
rival for
minute.
me. I could eat that for lunch too.
The
that
fried egg one?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
The
that one's
breakfast
so
hash.
good. That is the carnitas breakfast hash. So I do a slow cooked pork carnitas, again, all gluten free, fried egg, and then at the bottom it's like onions, peppers, and sweet potatoes.
Yum.
That one's bomb.
That one's fun. I could eat like breakfast all day.
Yeah, I
So
know,
I'm
me
always
too.
like, what are the most popular breakfast ones? 'Cause I could
my
just eat them all
my
day.
saying is like when in doubt, slap an egg on it. Like, and I try to preach on my Instagram like, if you're stressed about eating healthy, get away from the rules.
Yeah.
Like, get away from what you think breakfast should look like, lunch should look like, dinner should look like. Eat lasagna for breakfast. Who cares? Eat scrambled eggs for dinner. It's like we're talking about the nutrition, not what society has told you have to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Right, because a lot of breakfasts are really sweet, and I mean, I still kind of fall into that trap too. Like, I love a smoothie, an opal, a chia bowl, an acai bowl. Like, you name it. Like, I kind of like a sweeter in the morning, and then, but I still crave the eggs.
Yeah.
If it's the weekend and we're going out for brunch, I'll do eggs in the morning.
Yeah.
But because I have to be at work by almost 7 sometimes, like eggs just do not sound good at that
Yeah.
hour when I've just woke up.
6 a.m. eggs.
Yeah,
Nope.
like, ugh. But I could do a smoothie or like a
Yeah.
bowl. Like, it's grounding.
Yeah.
A bowl's grounding to me.
Definitely.
So if somebody is listening to this right now and they're like, I don't cook a lot, but I want to start implementing that and learning to cook more besides coming to take classes with you, where would you suggest they start if they're like just brand new
Like
to that
cooking
scene?
tips for at home.
Come to my Instagram page, Pump&Crunch. I don't have time to cook lengthy recipes. I'm a busy squirrel. And I know you guys are too. And people listening, we're busy. We've got a lot going on. Every recipe I post is like 30 minutes or less.
I love that because I kind of got out of cooking because I didn't have time.
It's so easy. Go on my page. You will find everything. And I have all the recipes on my Instagram on my website. You can go type in keywords. If you want chicken, type chicken. If you want pasta, type pasta. I have everything categorized: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. You can go in and search whatever you're interested in. They're printable PDF files. You can even shop the post at the bottom. So if you see something on my Instagram page, like, oh, that pan, because people ask me about my cookware all the time, go to the website. You'll be able to shop the exact pan that I have, all the cooking utensils, Amazon links to sauces and oils and stuff that I use. Oh, and that's another big thing. I do not cook with any seed oils in my kitchen.
Good.
That's the most common question I get from anyone. I don't eat them. I do not feed you guys that
Because they're
ever.
inflammatory.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
What do you cook with?
I cook with
primarily?
organic avocado oil and organic olive oil. Avocado for cooking, olive oil for like dressings and drizzling. And
Do you ever do like butter and ghee too? Like, you'll do
yes,
those,
I
right?
do grass-fed butter as well.
Yeah.
And sesame
Those
oil.
are kind of the ones we like.
I know you're not supposed. Somebody roasted me on my Instagram the other day. You are not supposed to cook with sesame oil. I'm like, go away. I love to cook with sesame oil. It just tastes so good. I love sesame oil.
I don't know if I've like cooked with it, but I would make this like more like soy sauce. I would like do like
it's made
soy
for sauces
sesame.
and toppings.
It's like you combine some stuff together.
Yeah,
sometimes you got to break the rules, right?
I always break
Well,
the
I could see
rules.
where they would say like sesame's a seed.
I know. I'm talking about like canola.
Oh yeah,
and peanuts.
Ugh, yeah.
No. Never.
Oh, I love that.
I
So
forgot what we were talking
I'm gonna be. Oh yeah, I know. Me too. I'm like, all I know is I'm gonna go look at your recipes and I'm gonna cook something, and my boyfriend's gonna be so freaking confused because I do not cook.
Oh my gosh! I posted today.
I'm gonna say thanks to Cail.
I did
say thanks to Cail.
Cottage cheese Alfredo sauce. I just made that before I came here.
High protein.
Delicious.
Okay.
I think I saw you eating that on your Instagram today.
I took a bite and I was like, what? I was not expecting this to taste this good. It's so good. And then I also posted beef and homemade refried bean, like little crispy tacos.
Ooh.
I love those looked really good. That I'm gonna make.
Good.
But I just love how you didn't intentionally get into food, and now when you like try something new, you're like, this is actually really good. This is
Amazing.
I can just like imagine your like face and mind being like, oh my gosh. Like,
that was literally
I'm
me
impressed with
today.
myself.
And I got on my Instagram. I was like, oh my God, this was so good.
So
I'm really hungry now, by the way.
I know. Me too.
I know. So I guess we talked about some challenges, tips for people, wellness. Did you want to finish any other supplements? I think we like detoured.
Oh, yes.
So we talked Shilajit.
Yeah, I do Shilajit, magnesium, glutathione. I go through phases with athletic greens. I really like athletic greens. I think they're delicious. I don't know. I go through phases.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I think it's okay to allow yourself to go through those phases, because if you're having to force yourself to do something in your wellness routine every day, like, I don't know, take a break from it.
It's good to take breaks. I agree. Like I always tell myself, you don't have to take those supplements every single day. You should give your body like a break here and there. Right. And I go back and forth on green powders too. Yeah. Sometimes I prefer to eat them. Sometimes if I didn't get enough, I'll shake them.
Right. Exactly. I love that. Yeah. But those are the ones that I do. But right now I just feel so good when I drink electrolytes. Like if I ever have a headache, or if I feel myself, like my body, you know, and you just kind of feel weak, I will drink a packet of electrolytes, and I'm telling you, it fixes it immediately. Game changer.
Well, and it's so hot here. Yeah, it's almost a necessity.
And if you don't have access to like packets of electrolytes, because some of them can be pretty pricey, you can just get like a sparkling water or good filtered water. Like put some good quality salt in there with like a squeeze of lemon, and there's your electrolytes. Yeah, it can be as simple as that.
Perfect. Have you done desserts?
What kind? Like, do I make desserts?
Yeah, I mean, your bars are basically a dessert, but like...
I am so not a baker. Why? I'll tell you why. Because I don't like to measure. I just am like the throw in the pot type person.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, and baking, you have to be so exact. Like,
that's such an interesting point, and I guess that's why it is easier to make entrees than baking.
But I did make a bread the other day, and it didn't come out horrible. I'm telling you, like, I will follow a recipe to a T. I made these cookies. My friend, every time I go to her house, she has these delicious oatmeal cookies, and I love them. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make those. Oh my God, they were flat, awful pancakes, and I had to throw them away. I'm like, I followed the recipe to a T. So I stick to savory. If I need something sweet, I go to crumble.
Oh yeah.
Get me out of there.
God. I was just curious, I bet you get a lot of requests for desserts.
You know,
at least on the events.
Yeah. And if I do desserts, like for events like that, I'm like, look, I don't bake. And somebody's like, can you literally make me a box of brownies? I'm like, I can do that. I got you. I'm the savory girly.
I like savory over sweet.
Yeah, I bet we could do a holiday savory cooking class.
We could do a sweets class. Listen, you want it? The answer's yes. I'll figure it out.
I'm all for the holiday savory.
Yeah, I'm excited. So, Cail, we have to ask everybody on the podcast, what does wellness mean to you?
Wellness means to me just waking up every day and feeling a sense of peace in your life, whether it's your diet, your fitness routine, just the way that you feel internally, I think is so important. And not feeling so stressed about food and bending to the parameters of what we see on the internet. And really, it's just that. You need to find things in your life that you enjoy, whether it be a workout class, a meal, a supplement, being around good people. It's just
community,
yeah. That's what it means to me. It's just finding that peace in your everyday routine. That's wellness.
I love that.
And thank you for being such a light in our community and for bringing both health and, joy and food to people.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, I don't know. We might actually have this episode launched before Halloween, but we will have Cail's pumpkin squirrel bars at our Halloween event.
Oh, yay.
Yes.
And some other flavors too, I'm sure.
Go order them, you guys. They're the best protein bar you'll ever taste in your life.
Yes.
They're so
No
good.
way.
So go to Cail's website. You can use, again, code WELL4HUGH for 15% off. She also has merch, ebooks, all the things. So go check it out. We're also going to do a giveaway when we launch this. So, Cail, what are we giving away?
I am giving you guys a week. We call it a week of Pump and Crunch. So in that week, you'll get a meal and a squirrel bar for every day of the week. So you'll get 5 meals and 5 squirrel bars, one of each flavor.
Can they be anywhere, or do they need to be local?
If you are local, you get the food and the bars. If you're not local, you're going to get 20 squirrel bars.
I love it.
Give you a big old box of them. Yeah.
So to enter the giveaway, we are going to post a short of this episode. Go comment your favorite part of the episode on that short with Cail on it, and we will select someone from the comments.
Yay.
So
What
thank
an amazing
you.
prize.
Yes. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I
I'm like,
know,
can I
right?
enter?
I know.
People's husbands steal, the husbands and the kids steal them from the girls who order them. They'll like open their box, like, where'd they all go?
Yeah, these need to be like the new Girl Scout cookies.
Oh,
like, they're,
yes.
Yes, manifesting that
A
nationwide.
thin
And
mint
also,
flavor.
real quick, I know we don't know for sure, but when are we thinking the store will open?
Hopefully before the end of this year, you guys cross your fingers.
Woo, everybody go cross their fingers.
It's done. We're just waiting on the okay.
And we're going to know about it because we follow you. So
Yes.
we're going to know.
Follow me, everybody. Pump and Crunch. You will see all the fun things.
Yes, where can we find you? Pump&Crunch.
Pump and Crunch on Instagram, TikTok, and then my website, pumpandcrunch.com. All the things.
Thank you so much, Cail. We loved having you.
Thank y'all so much.
Bye.